Good morning, everybody. I have no idea if it's actually working. Michelle, you're going to have to go on to Facebook. My name is Marti Forrest. This is MiMi's page, Spiritual Empath, and I'm super excited she invited me to come on here and share with you all. I want to look and see if it's there. If I'm there on the page, because it said it's unsupported, and yet yesterday it was on there. So let me look and see if I am. Let's see if I'm, yeah, it's showing me live. MiMi was on the phone with a vet, so she's okay. Well, I can actually, oh, I see comments from, that's her automatic thing. Whatever it is, it's working. I can't see it on Facebook here, so I'm going to roll with it. I'm so excited to be here. It's been quite the journey to get on. Something that, well, I'm making friends with technology. Let me just say that. My name is Marti. I am a coach, guide, teacher, empath, mentor. I wear a lot of hats like that. Light worker, Blu-ray. Yeah, a lot of that kind of labels, if you will. And I am here today. And for the next, I believe, 6 weeks is what we planned out to talk about boundaries and all the many layers and places of boundaries. So welcome, welcome, welcome. MiMi will be back here in a moment. She was, the dog got injured and so was on the vet this morning to find out what's going on. I'm not really sure. But today I'm talking about boundaries. Yes, boundaries. I thought I would just go over some of the basic things today. Like, what are they? What are boundaries? Why do we need them? Why are they important? Why are they critical to our life? Now, I can see on my phone, whoops, I can see on my phone that you're here. So if you have any questions, hey, Lisa, if you have any questions, comments, I think I can actually see them on my phone until MiMi gets her. Boundaries. Why are they so important in our life? And what are they? And how do we set them? And, all that stuff. Are y'all really, really comfortable setting your boundaries? How easy are they for you? So a little backstory is for most of my life, I had no boundaries. And it's particularly true. Well, it may be true for all people. For people that are empathic and highly sensitive, we are really susceptible to having no boundaries because we feel everything so incredibly deeply. So the world it's all energy anyway, but we're just enmeshed in it and we feel it. And then we have no idea where I end and the world begins. It's just life. That was my life. I didn't have any boundaries. I was told what, when, where, how to feel. If you're going to cry, I'm going to give you something to cry about. Anybody heard those things? It may be different in other countries, but those were some of the comments here. And of course, it was not acceptable to feel things. I'm not supposed to feel it. How does that even make sense? Because that's our parenting. They don't know how to. Right? There's not a right or wrong thing here. Let's be really clear. There's nothing right. There's nothing wrong. We have created our reality, every single one of us, to learn and to grow. And it's always in our favor. So why did we come here? That's part of it. It's why did we come here? Why did we come to this planet in this earth suit at this time and place? Because all the things are set up for us to learn whatever that bigger purpose is. That makes sense? So I knew as soon as I could know what it was or have an understanding, I knew I was a healer. I had no clue about an empath. And then as I became an adult, I learned I was incredibly codependent. I wanted to save, rescue, and fix everyone. And let me heal you too while I'm at it. I'm broken and wounded, damaged goods. Fix me, so I'm going to fix you. Excuse me. So there's no boundaries in that. None. Right? I'm just going to immerse myself. Good morning, sunshine. I'm going to immerse myself in this relationship and attempt to fix you because I can't fix me. So now I'm fully enmeshed with you. I feel what you feel. I don't know that it's what I'm feeling. I just know that I'm feeling all this intense emotion. That leads into also people pleasing. Anybody relate to this? Y'all relating to this? How do we create boundaries with adult children? Oh my gosh, that's a great question. So let me come back to that. Thank you for that question. That's a fabulous question. Adult children, yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Because we have taught them. So that ties right into what I'm talking about. We've taught them. My parents taught me how I was going to be treated because that's how they treated me. Right? So we set up rules in the very beginning of our life. So whatever the rules were when they were children, your adult children were children, little children, they're still running on that. So when we begin to set boundaries with them, they don't really care because they don't even know what they are. They don't have them for themselves because they never learned that. And then when you, with the adult, the mom, the parent, attempt to set them, really, what do you think? What do you think? You're not going to set no boundary with me because I'm your kid, so I'm going to just do what I do. They're still operating from a child perspective. And we all do this. There's nothing wrong here. I'm going to keep telling you that there's nothing wrong. It's all a setup, if you will, for us to learn what our purpose is. Mine was to realize and come home to myself that I'm love. I am the embodiment of love. That may not be everyone's, but it's mine. And so all of my life was set up to push me back to that, to help me learn that. In addition to that, I've taken on my parents, their parents, their parents, their parents. That's the generations, right? So when we've taken on all that stuff, we're here to clear that. But doing that requires us to have some different rules in our life. The rules are their guidelines and boundaries for ourselves. Hi, MiMi. Good morning. I was well on a roll. I am not hearing you. I can read your lips, but I am not hearing you. There's no sound. I love your spiral earrings. Are they music notes? Yeah. Darling, super cute. Super, super cute. Nope. There you go. You're there. You're on. I was hearing you earlier. I don't know. Oh, your earbuds are on. Yeah, even Lisa said no sound. Okay, so we're born. Talk again. Nope. Maybe you go out and come in again. You can hear me, but we can't hear you. Well, oh my gosh, we're so tech savvy. No. You'll have to go into your settings probably and see what it is. I'll just keep talking. I can talk for a long, long time on this. So let me come back to this. Good morning, Kyla, Sky, Lisa.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I hear you now. Good morning.
Grand Rising. Yay.
So I'm going to come back to the
We're
question.
here. This is all techie stuff that is not my forte. Ask me to build a website, write, do everything, but this techie little stuff is just so not my forte. And we also, we really need moderators for, because
I'm way better, but yeah, anyway, so like my little placement, my little ad placement here. I got this really fabulous mug, see, from from MiMi. She sent it to me. Love it, love it, love it.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I'm trying to sign in here for the comments, so let me just open up the page here.
Okay, I can see. I'm actually seeing them on my phone. I pulled up my phone.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. It told me it wasn't working or whatever, but so let me talk to the question of how to create boundaries with adult children. So this is a practice, and this will tie into all the why they're important, how to set them, and it's a reset. Like, so let me just take, it's an opposite example. My mom has no boundaries. And when I began setting boundaries, it was difficult. And I kept resetting them and resetting them and resetting them. But she's constantly pushing. And I'm imagining this is the same as your children. It's just the reverse. Because they're constantly pushing against your boundaries because they don't believe you.
I want to reiterate on that you're not talking to me, that you're talking to the person that answered the question, because direct, if you're talking like her, I don't even know what her name was, but she just asked like, if, because we don't want to.
I'm talking to everyone, truly, really, because when we have
collectively, because collectively, Marti, it's, and any type of conversation,
yes,
dealing with manipulative behavior in adult children
yes,
requires boundaries, but also there's just so many different setting boundaries modalities with adult children, and it's clear communication, respect for both autonomy and consistency in the approach, but then defining your boundaries, which you're going to explain to everybody, between both communicating clearly, respectfully, listening to their perspective, consistency, and supporting their independence. But sometimes it elevates adult children. Like, there's like adult children. What are adult children? But I had a client, it's been coming up a lot lately, dealing with manipulative behavior. She has she and her husband are dealing with manipulative behavior with the son. And that, I told him, I said, that requires like a firm, strategic approach to uphold your boundaries, which is what you're all about. And the steps that I talked about, shared with her, and I have to send her off to you, is to recognize the manipulative behaviors, identifying them, that they are manipulative, gaslighting, guilt tripping, playing the victim, recognizing that these tactics is like the first step in addressing them. And then after that, staying calm, staying objective, because manipulative behaviors can be emotionally charging, triggering, glimmering, whatever the hell they call it today.
I don't know what they call it today.
And upholding the boundaries, which you teach everybody.
The kids know the buttons. They know our buttons as adults. As the parent, they know the button to push, just like we know the button to push for them.
Yeah.
The more that we take care of ourselves and set boundaries for ourselves in the way that we talk to ourselves, the way that we care for ourselves, the easier it becomes to set them with our children and anyone else, truly anyone else. So when I'm talking to one person about whatever the question is, it's really for everyone, because it'll apply to you in some way.
Right.
Boundaries are for everyone. So, and they're super important, but they begin with me. They begin with MiMi. They begin with Sky. They begin with Lisa. They begin with you personally, having boundaries for yourself. And none of us have been taught boundaries. Our culture doesn't live in boundaries. And some people have like these super rigid boundaries, very black and white world, and other people have these like super gray areas where there is no boundary. I went from one extreme to the other, and then it came back to the middle, because it can be malleable often in the beginning when we're learning how to even have them and create them. They seem very rigid to people, and it pisses them off because they aren't respectful in the first place. And now I'm demanding that you respect me, and I'm respecting me, and they're mad. You're changing the rules. When we change the rules, people push. People that are growing with you will grow with you. People that are not growing with you are going to push, going to go away. Your children are likely going to push because mama never had boundaries or daddy never had boundaries.
But what if they did?
Very confused.
Wait a minute, hold on. What if they did have boundaries and the child was continuously resistant? Because there's all different types of scenarios. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Like there are, and I was telling her the other day, I'm like, are you empowering them to solve their own problems? She's like, oh yeah, big time, like way over the top. There's and then there's the enabling, then there's the guilt tripping. Absolutely. That comes in, and it's she had them in had the three of them as a trio in like clinical therapy. She's like, this is not working, because she doesn't believe in medications, which is why she came to me. And I said, what are you doing for self-care? Because dealing with manipulation is so draining. And and I said to her, you know what, limit the engagement. If they are, limit the frequency of energy and depth of interactions, take a step back and self-care. So, and be consistent. But you're the boundary bitch. You know how this goes.
And every situation is different. It truly is. But these are some of the common things that happen. And sometimes we have children that are just not going to be that way. They're not going to conform or be respectful or love you in the way that you're asking by setting a boundary. You just keep setting the boundary. It's not up to you to decide for them. It's your boundary, right? Overruling and enabling in order to control the individual had to deal with a parent who did that. Absolutely.
I didn't see that. I'm not looking at the thing here.
I just saw it pop up on my phone. It's Kyla. Overruling. Hi, Heather. Overruling.
Hi, Kyla.
In order to control the individual had to deal with a parent who did that. Yes. As children, we're children. And they are our parent. They are our ruler or our authority, whatever label we put there. They're our parent. I realized much later, it was my parent was the authoritarian, and also it equaled my relationship with the Creator. So it's a bigger picture than that. And very much authority, very much a bully, very much control. A lot of alcoholism in the family. So that came with the family disease of my parents didn't drink, but there was much control and fear, a lot of fear. So yeah. And it's the journey for us to come home to ourselves and to remember who we are, remember that we're loved, remember that the essence of us is energy and spirit. That's the essence. And who we are is love and light. And we're reparenting ourselves. We're learning how to reparent ourselves and have boundaries for ourselves, because we didn't learn that growing up. And when we didn't learn it, we have no idea how to do it now. And when it's overruling, controlling, and manipulation, gaslighting, narcissism, whatever label we place on those types of behaviors, until we can recognize them. How do we do that? Sometimes we can go read things and see. You go, oh my God, holy cow, I've been walked all over. I've been a doormat my whole life. But we always knew. when we pause to feel, we always knew that's what was happening because it didn't feel right in us. Like the energy's off, it feels ugly, it feels we don't know how to trust ourselves yet, usually, until we do. Like all of this is, we don't know until we do. But when we learn how to listen to our own body and trust that, and because we're so enmeshed in the energy, this is where we learn how to discern. Because until we know how to discern what's me and what's them, it's all me. Right?
I love how you just shared that. No, I love that how, and that's collectively how we discern them, but also discerning from self. And, you know, and then you mentioned something a few seconds ago about reparenting ourselves. I want to go back to that because I am just learning how to reparent myself.
Yeah.
Because my mom just passed away 3 years ago. And I feel this the heaviness has been completely lifted from me. A lot of her has consumed a lot of my, not my choices in life, maybe a few. Getting married, that was one. Like I couldn't wait to get out of the house. Like I got to get away from this woman. I got to get married and have my own family, and that's what that was. But she, and as a reflection of choices, what's better for me and my family, never. I feel as though that I needed to get away. I moved very far away from it. And whenever I was in that energy, especially the last 10 years of taking care of this cantankerous woman, I was immersed in a lot of emotional sadness. It's like and then as soon as she transitioned, I literally watched her spirit go out into the window here into the yard. And that's when my spirit started living again.
Yep. It's amazing. Just feel your moment.
I had to create those boundaries at a very young age because it was affecting my energy sphere. It was affecting my joy. It was affecting my life, my choices of, I was confused. And so I felt, I had to create boundaries at a very young age with someone that I loved her so much. She was a great woman. She was really sweet, but I accepted who she was at a very young age, and kind of flowed with her flow. Mm-hmm. I never blamed her. This is one thing that a lot of these kids today on social media, it's a little bit of a glimmer where they're talking about their narcissistic parent and all of those dynamics, the language that they're using, and their parents not there in the other end to share a conversation. Do you understand? Like I see it so much. It's like I gently talk and express what has brought attention to my heart to elevate it. But if it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't be here today. So absolutely. I celebrate her. Did we have little disagreements? Absolutely.
Of course.
But did I blame her? Abso-fucking-not-lutely. And the blame game, the guilt tripping, this all is very prevalent in today's social media presence.
But it's, from the top down. we learn it from the top down, and it's prevalent everywhere in our culture. And there's a lot of that entitlement and blame and victim. And that means nobody's taking any responsibility. And yet we set it up. No blame. They are all lessons. Exactly. They are all lessons. Exactly. And Kyla said when she transitioned, you felt a weight lifted off your shoulders. And I'm going to try to say it. He says, good evening. It's ABBABAZZ.
Kyla and hi, Lisa. Good morning. Kyla's a long time, very, very special sister, like in my journey throughout all of these years.
Love it.
And she's very sweet. She's out there near you or down there near, she's somewhere there. She's very into you know, the metaphysical, the collective, and all of this
Excellent
fun conversation that we're having. But Sky, wherever you are, Sky, thank you for sharing that, you know, that moment with us, creating boundaries with adult children. If anybody else has any other questions about creating boundaries, Marti is your boundary bitch.
Boundary bitch.
I feel a sin coming on.
I'm gonna just wear that proudly, boundary bitch. Oh my God. Thank you for that. So let's how do we define our boundaries? How do we even know where they are? How do we begin? It's sometimes it's having someone that is coaching you along, or that can help you with the wording of them. Sometimes we just go, stop. I mean, they're all over the place depending on, you know, where our emotional state is. I have found for me, and it depends on the situation and the person. Because sometimes loud like that is all that someone can hear. And other times the delivery is, hey, dude, please don't do that to me again. And they're not doing it to me. It's absolutely for me to learn how to set the boundary. But please don't do that again. Years and years ago, I was worked in the hair salon for a long time, and it was a very codependent relationship with the owner. And he said something one day, and I didn't really think much of it, but somebody said something, and somebody else said something, and I was like, okay. When I stopped, paused to feel what was happening, I was like, oh, all right. It was a Saturday, so now we're off for the next couple of days. I called him to the back before I left, and I asked him to please not do that in front of my clients again. And he was like, well, that's just stupid. And he just went off on that whole tangent. I said, maybe so, but I'm asking you to please don't do that again. If you want to talk to me, bring me aside and talk to me. And he went on this whole tangent about, he became very abusive. I stayed grounded and centered. And I stayed to the point. So this is a key. Stick to the point. Know exactly what you're addressing. And because otherwise it's an emotional manipulation and blackmail. So you're sticking to the point and you're staying grounded in that. Yep. And you keep bringing it back. So I kept doing it. I kept bringing it back. Yep. And it's mine. I'm just simply asking you to not do that again. And it was not a long conversation, but he just became more, and the calmer I was, the angrier he got. I don't even know how it ended. It was a long time ago. And I came back Tuesday, and it was weird and awkward, and he realized I was done. I said my piece, but I went home. I got to tell you, I went home, and I'm like, oh my God, did I say that right? Did I do the right thing? He's mad at me now. He's gonna not want me to be here. He's gonna fire me. That whole thing happened after I set the boundary. I was terrified because it was one of the first times my knees are knocking, and I'm just scared to death that he's gonna now hate me, and he's gonna tell me not to come back. None of that happened, but it happened for me inside. So when we begin, that's one of the ways it happens. We then mentally masturbate and, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that, because all those other things come up. And when it
Did you say masturbate?
mentally masturbate. Yes. Oh my God, I said that a group of women when we could go there howls. They all know what I'm talking about. And I
that's
said,
a new one. I like that.
It's the mind fuck, if you will, mentally masturbating. We all know that, right? So I had a good chuckle about that. So that happened. And then when I came back to work, I was fine. I said my piece. He never did that again. And it just altered the trajectory of our relationship. We stayed friends. I worked there for a long time. So,
right.
But that's, in the beginning, it's super, super uncomfortable because we're building a trust relationship with ourselves to say that this is not tolerable in my world anymore. I love me enough to say no. No is a complete sentence. I care enough for me and my space and my boundaries to no longer be disrespected because I'm not disrespecting myself. And that's where it begins. We have to not disrespect ourselves. And then it filters outward. But when we begin that journey, the mind goes off in all the ways that it's always done. Because it's uncomfortable. It's new behavior. So having help, having a friend or a coach or a mentor, someone that has set really clear boundaries and practiced it can, because I've helped a lot of people and I've coached a lot of people to how to deliver it in a way that can be heard. And own it, because it's me. I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying any of that. It's like, I am no longer tolerating this in my world. That's not always the word to use, but one of the ways to say. With my mom, there was a whole political conversation. And I was like, I am not having this conversation with you.
Hi, Mary.
And she would keep on and keep on. I'm like, stop, Mom. I'm not talking to you about this. It doesn't feel good. Even if I agree with you, I'm not talking about it. And she'd keep, oh my God.
Oh, she would taunt you? What was she talking about?
Pardon me?
What was she talking about? She was
political.
She wasn't talking. She was taunting you for conversations about politics.
She wanted me to engage with her and join her in her place of judgment and whatever that is.
Right? Oh, okay. Stop. Say that again. No matter whatever the topic is of that conversation, whether it's political or it's
doesn't matter
whatever it is. Okay. Repeat what you just said to me, because
people, when they're complaining about it or bitching about it, they want us to join them because now they have a companion in the whole emotional turmoil that they're creating for themselves. And so
they want to bring you into their little fucking circus.
Down to their level.
They're drama dumping, chaos,
yes,
all of it. So Sky says, what are some common challenges that people face to set boundaries with family members? And you're talking about your mother.
She was the one who asked about the adult children. Yes, these are all common because because our family sees us as they see us. If we're not really close to them or don't have a lot of conversation, they don't know where you are in your life today. My family does not have a clue where I am in my life today. They don't care.
Really?
They don't want to know, and they don't ask. They say, how are you? And I'm like, do you really want to know? What have you been doing? Do you really want to know? Because that's a really deep dive. Right? So me and MiMi, we could deep dive, but not everyone wants to do that. My family could care less. So they view me as the person they knew when I was a kid. They'll call me by that nickname when I was a kid. I'm like, what? Really? That is not me today. We've all moved all over. So it's Short, hold on, short, succinct, and to the point when you're with your family and setting boundaries.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I
there's
think I
no
mentioned to that earlier.
conversation. You can have some conversation, qualified if you need to, but the more that we speak about why you're not allowed to treat me that way, the more ammunition we give them, and the more they're able to come back and manipulate the way they've always done. Does that make sense?
Can you repeat that? Because I love it.
Yes.
We need to hear that again.
The more conversation I have about why you shouldn't be this way toward me, why I'm setting this boundary, the more ammunition I'm giving them, the more reasons I'm giving them, because that's what they know how to do. So they're putting it in their mind about coming back to manipulate you emotionally. It's very common in an those abusive situations, just in the dance that we've been doing all along. And then suddenly we're like, we're evolving. You're here because you're evolving. You wouldn't even be listening to this conversation if you weren't interested in the evolution of your world and having that self-love and self-care. All the boundaries are about self-love, self-care. Boundaries equal self-love.
So there's a couple people asking questions. The challenges people face when trying to set boundaries. I want to address that. Okay. Some of the common challenges I feel like people face are like guilt and obligation. Many people struggle with feelings of guilt setting these boundaries, worrying that they're being too selfish or uncaring. The guilt is compounded with like this sense of
obligation.
Yes, obligation to prioritize the family members. And I'm like, no, we need to, and I don't like to say the word get over or let go. We need to move with. So this might answer Lisa's question, but Kyla also was talking about, read Kyla's also. And then another one is fear of conflict. I cannot stand confrontation.
Yeah.
You know, I want nothing to do with it. And whatever happened, half the time I don't even remember. I remember the joy moments that were in my life, the moments that brought me joy. Does that make sense? That's what I remember, joy in my life. I remember the joys in my life. I do get a little glimmers when I'm reminded of not joyful shit or stuff that I don't even know about or not even remember, but just not, it's like my mom, I remember, I think we program ourselves to remember those beautiful moments. I had a lot of beautiful moments with my mom. My mom was a little wonky. I have to give it to her, but you know, I didn't feel safe sometimes, not safe, but loved.
Both.
I'm sure she loved me. And that's what I needed to learn as I grew into an adult, that she loved me according to her own way that she could love me. Maybe she had her own boundaries and she didn't want to love. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
People love the way they know how and the way we've been taught. That's the bottom line. However, they learned love, and often it was conditional. Often it was with pain. That's where we get trauma bonding and that kind of stuff. It comes with all kinds of conditions and pain, and so they love us the only way they know how and the way that they've been taught. And then they learn from their parents and their parents and their parents. And sometimes you have your own children and you do something completely different because you know that didn't feel good and that didn't work.
I'm all love. I'm just like a bubble of love. Like I love. I care a lot about humanity. I care a lot about people, but I've learned, thankfully, to create these boundaries the last bunch of years, especially because I have so much more clarity. The other point that I wanted to stomp on about setting boundaries with family members, we don't do it because of lack of support. It's like, why would I tell you about something that happened? Because you're not even going to ask, how are you? How are they? What happened? How can I be there? What can I do? Do you need this? Do you need that? Some family individuals set boundaries because they don't receive the support from those family members, and they don't, again, understand the importance of those. But they don't even think of it because a lot of them are very just like about me, I.
They're very
And
self-absorbed.
Lisa, huh?
They're very self-absorbed. And
Self-absorbed.
everybody has their journey, right? Everybody has their own journey. And some don't, they just don't know how. The key to all of this, one of the keys to all of this is we all have our own journey, and we don't know what we don't know. We have things that we know we don't know. We have things that we know.
Let me shut this door because I can't hear.
We also have things that we don't know called our blind spots. That's the place where we shine some light in to learn about ourselves, because I can't figure them out. I know a little bit about my mom. I know how she was raised. My grandma was narcissistic. My mom has some tendencies of that. That's her journey. They love the only way they know how, and that's often in our culture and our world today based on fear.
Right, cultural and generational differences.
Yes.
There are family obligation roles that impact our boundaries. They're viewed and respected in very much cultural, generational, and in some cultures, some families, the needs and the boundaries are not that important. They're seen as less than. And yeah. And then the other thing is emotional manipulation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
That's the guilt part for Lisa. What Lisa was asking about, like, what about the guilt you feel when you finally walk away from all the family because they continue to break boundaries? And if it's important that you want to spend time with your family, you learn how to navigate that. The boundaries for yourself, and I will redirect the conversation. I've gotten really good at doing that. But it wasn't that way always. And there was a lot of guilt. What's the guilt? What is guilt? Guilt is because we think we should do something else, or it should be different than it is. That's what guilt is. Oh, I feel guilty because I should have done something different, or this whole situation should be different than it is. When we are sometimes the most loving thing we can do for ourselves is to walk away.
Yeah.
And the whole grieving process.
How about
it doesn't
run away?
It doesn't mean that we don't love them. It doesn't mean that we don't care about them. It means that I love myself so much, I am no longer abusing me, and I'm no longer allowing you to abuse me.
I felt that.
Woo. Marti, do you find that many people have to receive permission to create boundaries? Sometimes, yes, Kyla. So in creating boundaries, we aren't being selfish, but rather we are being aware of loving ourselves enough to do self-care. You taking that in. Self-care and without guilt, being able to finally say, thank you for all the hearts. I love the interaction. It really is fabulous. So in creating boundaries, we aren't being selfish, but rather we are being aware of loving ourselves enough to do self-care, and without guilt, being able to finally say, no, I do not have to bend to your whims, but rather I can firmly stand in my own strength and power. I still love you and care about you, but I can choose my own path to travel on and allow you to be part of it, or allow you to be free. Thank you for burning that. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. And, when we begin to set, and some of these relationships end or they change. Sometimes they'll really drastically change because we are teaching people how to treat us, and teaching them also how they can be treated, right? How they can begin to set boundaries for themselves. So we're always an example of that if somebody wants to take that. And
I love that interaction, Kyla. I really do. It kind of piggybacks what I just kind of went crazy about. But what about the guilt you feel when finally walking away from all family members when they continue to break boundaries? What about the guilt you feel? Okay, Lisa, you're getting there, sweetheart. She has come so far, Lisa Campbell. I want to give her so much love. Love, 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 love. I'm telling you, Lisa, you have come such a long way, and you will not feel that guilt. It will just spark you. One day, it's like a big fucking epiphany. It'll be like, get the fuck out of here. No, no, no. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
All right.
Overcoming these challenges, it does require patience. So you need patience. You need to be persistent in these boundaries that we're sharing with you, that Marty's sharing with you, and the support of your community, Lisa. And then you know what? You just cut them off like Marty did.
There's also, in addition to that, the guilt is self-imposed because that's what we learn. And sometimes we've taken on our family guilt. There's also a grieving process of lots of energy moving on that. It's a grieving process and grieving who we were to be in that relationship or those relationships. And grieving the loss of those relationships as we step into this empowered person that we are, remembering who we are. So there's that place of, there's a lot of movement of energy. I can feel all just going like this.
Well, that's no regrets comes to mind. Absolutely no regrets. You have to give yourself the credibility of really owning who you are, not just as a human, as a mother, as a father, as a sister, as a brother, as a friend, as a child, that you are so worthy of yourself and that love from in yourself. No regrets. I did everything that I could. I did everything that I said. And if they don't accept, it's time for me to release and let it the fuck go.
And we release them. We release them with love. We're not releasing them because we're angry or retaliating or tit for tat. We're not doing any of that. It's because we love them too. And we love them enough to get the hell out of their way and let them have their road. Let them walk their journey. And I'm not a part of it anymore. Because when I'm trying to conform and stay in that, I'm in their way. I'm in their way.
Yep.
Because my energy's enmeshed and involved, and I'm in my way because I'm continuing to try to make it be something that it's not. And it's not likely ever going to be. Sometimes our walking away allows them to grow in the direction that they were meant to grow, and it may come back together at some point. Sometimes we do this and we come back together in all of our relationships. Sometimes we need to go apart to do our part of it, and then we can come back together later. So it's not always the end forever, but there's still the grief point of grieving who we were, who we contorted ourselves to be, to stay in that relationship the way that it was. All right. I saw a couple comments from someone and I can't find them now. It was FOF something. It wasn't a name. I'm not seeing it now. You're welcome, Kyla. Yes, I love them enough to get the hell out of their way. Yes. Yes. And any other questions before we wrap for the time today? Also, I want to tell you that we began the 30-day Empowered Empath Immersion. It's a 30-day experience. Lisa's been an active participant with me in that. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. This is a container where we have 5 Zoom calls. We did one already. It's all recorded, yours forever. So you're not missing anything. If you're interested in joining, put a comment in there, put like yes 30, and then I'll reach out to you and send you more information. If you'd like to sign up, it's $111 for that whole time. Every day I drop in a video or an audio of some tip, tool, update. Hey, Kelly. Or another exercise to do, like I dropped in yesterday about return to sender, returning their energy to them, because we take on their energy and we carry it with us, and then it lives with us. We return to sender. So I dropped that in there, and that's every day I'm dropping in some kind of support, not advice, guidance, meditation in support of the first one. And the first one was all about releasing trauma. And the next one's all about self-care. Week 3 is about being fully present. The last one is, thank you, Kyla. The last one is about mastering our energies. And then listen, coming on. And then the 5th week it'll be a wrap up and sharing your aha moments and completing together. So if that's of interest to you, put that in the comment. Put yes 30. Group. I love group.
You do?
I do. Guardians of the Galaxy. Group.
I never ever knew who Groot was until someone looked him up for me, but look what I got.
I love it. That was a great movie. Thank you for being here, you all. And if you want to reach out in an email, you can email me at, I love it, you have both of those. How awesome is that? Marti at Empathic Superpower, Marti at empathicsuperpower.com. So you can reach me there also. It's another way to reach me. And we'll be back in here next week. Same time. Yeah, we have matching. Look at that. Here we can go to
do
together.
Oh,
little toast. Love it. So we'll be back
here. Do you like the quote on the back? Do you like the quote on the back?
I do. Life is filled with unpredictable twists and turns. Let each experience be an opportunity to embrace. Choose to create. Choose to move with. Pivot with purpose. So we have our matching mugs. So next week, same station. Hopefully we'll have the tech stuff worked out again. We'll be here though, 9 a.m. And thank you all for being here and participating. I love that, being a projector in human design. It helps me to just really fully engage with you. So
Kelly, you're late, Kelly. You missed the whole class.
All here and all recorded for you. So yep.
Yes, you can go back and you can listen and take it all in and have fun with it. So yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Kyla. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
Liliana came in too.
Sky,
10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Central time, Wednesdays for the next week. 6 weeks, I think it is. Oh, there it is. How do you say it? Famil? How old are you both? We're both in our mid-50s.
How old do we look? Who is asking that question? Let me just see here.
Alita.
Thank you, ladies. Alita. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. I hope you guys got all these beautiful nuggets from Marti over here. She's great. She's the boundary. That's her new nickname from me to you.
I'll wear it proudly. Yes. Yes, yes. All right,
How
lovely.
can you not? How can? Oh, we got to go. Okay, so yeah. Oh, she's in Wisconsin. Oh, nice. That's a nice, beautiful state. Beautiful state. Beautiful state.
Not a day over 30, Kelly says. I'm happy with that. How to contact with you. Okay, let me put it in here. I'm going to put my email in here. You can contact me in Marti at Empathic.
Perky.
I'll reach out to you also. I'm typing on my phone. So hang on a second. Oops.
So how to contact with you? Okay.
Putting my email.
Yeah, just email Marti.
You can direct message me. You can email. I just put my email in the comments. And yeah, those are the two main ways. I don't have a website anymore. I also have a group called Empathic Superpower. If you're interested in joining Empathic Superpower,
Put the link
it's another group.
Put the link in there.
I'll come back and add that from my computer because I'm on the phone trying to do that. All right. Have a beautiful day. Anything else? Any other comments that you saw?
You ladies rock. I learned a bunch. I'm so happy to follow you. Oh, Alita. This is the boundary. This is Marti over here. She's great.
Clean boundaries. Yes. School of Hard Knocks, University of Life. How about that? University of Life. I love that. I always called it the School of Hard Knocks. So.
Yeah. So
all right, lovely.
Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. We're into this week Dragon Energy, which is bringing in alignment of self. So everybody, I'm just putting that out there that this is February 4th started the Dragon Energy. Look it up, Google it, the Dragon Energy for 2/4/2024. Moving forward, moving with.
Awesome. Yes, lots of that. Thank you so much.
And if you want to buy a t-shirt, wait a second.
Oh,
you want to buy a t-shirt? My t-shirts, I feel a sin coming on.com, and the coupon code is sin33, and Lisa Campbell has the whole collection. She has the shirts. She just got the hat with the embroidery, the baseball hat. She's got the cup. She's got everything. She's got my unalome. I
love it. All right. Let me tell you my email address again. It's Marti at empathicsuperpower.com. I dropped it in the comments.
Kelly, we're looking forward to see you next week, sweetie. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And my book Embrace is also on Barnes & Noble.
It's on Amazon, but Barnes & Noble is probably an easier place to get it. All right, lovely.
Really? All right, we got to go.
We could carry on
supporting women.
We'll see you next week.